Hey guys, welcome back. So at my last track day, unfortunately I did blow a motor mount. Bushing is completely out of the mount, so I had to buy a new one so we can replace that now. It's just making a really bad knocking noise when shifting. It almost feels like a suspension clunk, but it is the motor. It's the upper mount, so yeah, we're going to be replacing that today. Hopefully this goes smooth. Let's get started. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, this right here, this metal piece is the motor mount, and it has a bushing inside of it. And over here, if you can kind of see in there, not very well, but down in there is where my bushing is, behind the headlight, where it's not supposed to be. So that kind of gave me an indication that something was wrong. So let's pull the headlight out and start pulling this motor mount. So here's the motor mount that I was talking about. Well, not the mount itself, but the bushing that I mentioned was clearly not in the mount anymore. It's supposed to be in there. It's not. Whoops. I went ahead and broke the bolts on top of the motor mounts because they're super tight, and so now I'm just going to take these top 3 bolts out. That one really get it moving. Because where we have no bushing, it's really easy to move this around. Looks like there's is that a bolt too? Our new mount. Okay, so here's what our new mount looks like. There might be something there. Okay. Using the new mount for reference as to where all these bolts are. Yeah, it feels like there's one there. I think it's a little 8mm. Not sure how many thinks I'm gonna get that one back in, but you know, it's fine. It's thought that counts, right? This piece is loose, so there's just one more Torx bolt in there. So here I'm still working on pulling those bolts that connect the motor mount to the body. I was very nervous as I've heard horror stories about them stripping. So just make sure you guys are careful about that because I wouldn't want that for you either. I'm sure these bolts aren't cheap and I know they're not easy to get in and out. So just take that extra precaution with it and you should be good. I'm just talking about how simple and easy it was to pull out the old mount because of how broken it was. It fell into pieces where the bushing wasn't in, and so I kind of am trying to describe to you how it sits versus how mine was, but I clearly had no idea that the camera could not see what I was talking about. That was a epic fail on my part. I was pretty surprised at how simple it was to get this motor mount back in. It just took a little bit of wiggling and a little bit of time. I was really nervous that it was going to be much more difficult than it was, but it was surprisingly easy, so I think you guys can do it. I did not want to remove any of the AC lines, and I don't think it's necessary to. You just kind of have to wiggle them around. They had no signs of breaking or anything. I'm extremely happy with how easy this went in, as you can see by my little victory dance. So here we're just starting the process of putting the bolts back. Fairly simple, just be cautious that you don't strip anything. Again, that plastic piece is a killer. We are going to shift the motor around a little bit to line the bolts back up, so it's good to have a helping hand here. We do have a jack under the motor, although direction says it wasn't required. But we did it just in case, you know, I'd rather be safe than sorry. Yeah, fairly simple. Just make sure that you line them up straight. You do not want to strip these. Alright, so we got the new mount all bolted in. So now I'm just going to start putting the car back together. I did take a couple things out that I didn't need to take out, so that was a couple unnecessary steps on my part. But pretty much it's just going to be putting those extra bolts that I took out in and then putting the headlight back. So yeah, overall was not too bad. Maybe about 2 hours total, so really can't complain.